Right. Let's talk Texas. I saw a video of these kids, these Gen Z kids, talking about how they pay all this money in taxes, and they're pissed off as to why. Let's get into this. Fuck the government. Fuck the military. Fuck all of it. This voting shit, it's a joke. It's a reassurance ritual. And I'm noticing, obviously because it's an election year, you got all these half-ass jack-a-dandies saying dumb shit. Dumb shit. Like, it's about how you vote. You get what you vote for. What the fuck are you talking about? You get what you vote for. That's fucking stupid. And here's why. They pick the candidates. Who's they? The white supremacist oligarchs. The white supremacist oligarchs pick the fucking candidates. So if the white supremacist oligarchs are picking the fucking candidates, you don't have a fucking choice because their positions are already decided by think tanks, by the State Department, by the military. The talking points are already set. Their agendas are already set. Roe v. Wade, I just use that as an example. Roe v. Wade was going out of the window anyway. Why was it going out of the window? To nullify the black vote. Because if you got black people trying to withhold their vote to get reparations and you don't want to give black people money, then what do? You hold another person's agenda hostage. They're easier to control. So now you got these white women all mad because abortion's canceled. And later on down the line, you just dangle it over their head, dangle it over their head, dangle it over their head, and get their vote. They'll come out in droves if they think that once you let the implications of no abortion set in, these girls getting raped out in Texas, things of that nature, you let all that set in, where they're being forced to have these children for the military's agenda under the guise of the Aryan agenda, because they need kids for what? Prostitutes and soldiers, like I always say. You got me? You picking up what I'm putting down, Jack it is? And so you let the implications build up. You let the consequences build up. And then these women get mad. And then you dangle it. You dangle that codified Roe v. Wade. And they'll come out in droves and they'll vote for this candidate. And he won't do shit. Excuse me. He won't do shit. But it ensures that they consent to the ritual, the reassurance ritual, that you respect the system and you won't physically do anything about it. You'll just vote. That's enough. Just vote. I'm just gonna check the box. And then everything's gonna be our democracy, the security of our democracy. It's all fake. And that's where these taxes come in. It's a part of the game. It's all about control. You have the central bank buying all the bonds from the Treasury Department. Who's the central bank? Who's the Federal Reserve? The Federal Reserve is a consortium of independent banks that each represent a family of the white supremacist oligarchs that run the country. Yeah, I ain't learning about none of this shit. And so they create money out of thin air, which drives up the debt. But here's the thing. American debt is largely fictitious. It's fake. Because they owe themselves. Because it's printed by the white supremacist oligarchs. Now you have assholes get out here and be like, oh, it's about American consumption and American, and that's what controls the economy because everybody, shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. You shut up. That has nothing to do with it. The white supremacist oligarchs print money out of thin air via the scam ass bank. They buy up the treasury bonds And then that's what supports the economy. Then that drives up this fictitious debt, which creates recessions to control society. Then they come in and save you. I put that in quotes. Down the line, then they drive up inflation, make everything expensive. Why? Like I always say, so you can't vote with your dollar. Because if you vote with your dollar, they'll have the 60s all over again, where people have all this money and comfort, and they go, you know what? Screw this and screw you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna fund that guy. I'm gonna give those blacks money. I'm gonna build this. I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna invent this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want. Screw you, government. They don't want that no more. They don't want that ever again. They hated it in the 30s when the white supremacist oligarchs teamed up with the military to take over the country. And they hate it now. And they hate it now. And so what they've been doing ever since is recreating the conditions using various commodities to reproduce large and small Great Depressions to control society. Now, your fake ass taxes are a part of this because you're paying into the system, but they really don't need your money. They don't need your money because the Fed buys all the goddamn treasury bonds, but they want to make you think you're funding the government when you're really not. You're not funding the government. And your vote doesn't matter. None of it matters. Because if you all team up and vote for something that they don't like, they're going to be like, you know what, no, I'm not going to do that. They'll do that at the federal level and at the state level. At the state level, everybody from Seattle, we all saw with the monorail. What happened with the monorail? And I always bring these points up. The monorail on the Kingdom roof, we voted no on the Kingdom roof. They did it anyway. And we paid until 2018 or some shit for a brand new roof. And then they tore it down. They tore down the whole building. And we had to pay this shit off till we stopped paying it off 2018. But they had torn it down almost right after they fucking fixed the roof and paid $1 bajillion to do it. Because the white supremacist oligarchs wanted some new stadiums. Voted for the monorail 3 times, yes. 3 times, yes. I even volunteered for that project. Every time they were like, well, you're not turning any dirt. Because they wanted Sound Transit to get all the contracts so that they could expand their bullshit bus system and appease the unions, which wouldn't have been a part of the monorail. So what they do, they kept saying, no, we're not gonna do this. 3 fucking times, 3 motherfucking times, we voted yes for the monorail. They didn't want to do it. They just said no, nobody did shit. I didn't do shit, other people didn't do shit, and we got this Sound Transit light rail garbage. The light rail system is trash, it's subway shit. The X pattern would have been done by now. That was years ago. They would have had the whole system up and running. The whole system, and then all that sounder crap had to do was run up to the north side, and the X would have covered everything else, just like up in Vancouver. And that would have took care of the whole damn city. The whole damn city would have transportation from West Seattle to Lake City. But they kept saying no. Kept saying no. And what do? They just put in more buses, new bus contracts. So people are still riding the shitty ass 358, but it's called the D now. And all the fancy crap that was on the D, the Wi-Fi and the heated seats and all that shit, they took all that out. The chargers, they took all that out. Now it's just the 358. Now it's just the 6 again. It's the same shitty bus with the same crackheads and the same meth addicts riding up and down the road. And I'm using that as an example because they do that at the federal level. Your vote doesn't matter. If they don't like it, they're gonna say no. The government's going to say no. That's it. So your vote these people don't represent you. They don't care about your interests. Donald Trump doesn't care about your interests. Jim Crow Joe Biden doesn't care about your interests. Jim Crow Joe Biden was pressured by independents, independent organizations to create a police accountability commission. What happened? As soon as he got in, he said, no, I'm going to give the cops even more money. The half-breed Obama did the same thing. He passed burn rights grants, cops grants, destroyed police oversight. And so what happened? Blacks started getting attacked. They weren't getting attacked to spite Obama because he was black. Obama did that. He created the environment that led to Michael Brown getting killed, that led to Trayvon Martin getting harmed, Antoine Rose and all the other people I talked about in previous videos that have been deleted for hate speech, aka exposing the Aryan race, who was our racial blood enemy. And you should be stopping this talking shit, marching shit, voting garbage. You know what needs to be done. And I'll give you another example. Internet as a utility. There's a reason why the mongrel turned over the internet to the UN, to put it under control, to monitor everybody and to monitor all the speech, turning it into cable TV, like Athene Wynn said was going to happen 20 goddamn years ago. You see, it wasn't that filthy half-breed Obama that made the internet a utility. It was activists. And I always bring this up. They went out and they petitioned in front of Tom Wheeler's house. And they threatened him with force. There were no votes, no marches, no dancing, no singing, no twerking, no leaflet campaigns, no t-shirts. They went to that man's house. And he was inside of that house, scared shitless. And that's when he signed it. And Obama hated that. And as soon as that filthy freak with his ugly ass wife had the chance, as soon as that mongrel had the chance, first thing he did was get rid of that and turn it over to the UN. So that would never happen again. So you don't need CISPA or CRISPR or whatever the hell those bills were that they were trying to pass back in the day. And then you combine that with the Hooker bill, boom, internet freedom's gone. It's gone. That's why when you write something in a comment section they don't like on any platform, anything they don't like, it gets deleted. You can't sue anybody. You can't say anything. There's no forums to post it anywhere except for like way off in the weirdo part of the web where all of us came from. That's it. So nobody's gonna see it 9 times out of 10. Because you keep posting the post, they're gonna delete it. They got AI trained to look for it. Trained to look for it, take it out in seconds. Out of seconds. As soon as you post it, I've posted stuff before I could even hit enter, they read it. It was like, no, you're not posting that. You're not posting that. So, and they'll stop any kind of discourse. Their algorithms at this point are trained to stop any kind of discourse before it even starts. Before the discourse even starts. As soon as they see the chain of the conversation headed in a way they don't like, one side's going to get deleted. Anyone pushing the mainstream narrative is going to be staying, and then anything opposing that, any kind of outside, it can be innocuous. It's gone. Because they don't want those threads leading people to think in a way that they don't like. Because it's about controlling the narrative. Everything that I say connects. That's why when I talk in these videos, it seems like I'm all over the place. It's all connected because it's all a damn control matrix. That's why they strategically delete certain videos. I'm not saying hate speech. They just don't want you hearing this shit. They don't want you hearing this stuff. And it pisses them off. And I know it pisses them off because they've said it. You're gonna get somebody killed. You're just spreading hate. No, it's not hate. It's documented facts. And then I put the documented facts in there. You know what? You can't post any documented facts anymore. You're not going to be able to pin anything. If you want to be able to pin things, you need to show us your ID. Why? Because I have no internet footprint. Because I'm not a fucking idiot. Show your face. Why? I make hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. I'm not showing my face. You stupid fucks. Get the fuck out of here. What are you, crazy? Why the hell would I do that? Come on. These half-ass Jack and Denny's, they run around here talking that dumb shit. Oh, I'm standing 10 toes down. You gonna stand 10 toes in the fucking river? Remember that black judge who went after the cops? All praise. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. And I keep bringing this up too. Black people, this ain't your country, man. I don't care what your ancestors built. I don't care what your ancestors built. This is not your, this is white people's country. It's theirs. It's not you. You have no country. You don't have shit. You barely have hip hop. And one thing I will say is hip hop helped galvanize Black American culture. That is the greatest thing to happen to Black Americans since the Garvey era. In terms of Black pride and cultural cohesion, hip hop is the best thing that ever happened to Black Americans because before hip hop, there just was nothing. I mean, Garvey and Booker T, they got Black Americans to galvanize based on being Black. And that was a feat that was never, because Black people were on the same shit as Dominicans. Back in the 30s, 20s, Black people were on the same shit as Dominicans. They was dyeing their hair, bleaching their skin, lightening the race, improve the race, but they called it lightening the line. Black Americans were doing all that shit. I ain't learning about none of that shit. This isn't the insult. This is just to build what's up. Now you had music like jazz, but no, Black people didn't care about jazz. Black people never really took to jazz. Even though jazz is a black genre of music, they never took to jazz. Rock and roll, they never really took to rock and roll. It was always R&B, but it was never really, like, R&B was always something that Black Americans gravitated towards. The blues, that's a regional thing, but it never really blew up. Nobody really cared. Kids didn't really care about jazz. They didn't really care about the blues. They didn't really care about country, whatever it used to be called before it was country. They didn't care about that. It never really took off in the Black community. Funk got some good traction. Disco had some good traction. House had some good traction, but they all died off. They never really galvanized. House transcended Black people, went mainstream with freaks and geeks, white people and shit. It wasn't until hip hop, specifically gangster rap for whatever reason, and then everybody started doing their own things. Because for a while, hip hop was just a New York thing. But once other people saw it and it went to the West Coast and that blew up, everybody said, hey, we can do this too. So that's when the South jumped in. And then you had the Miami sound. Chicago was always looking for a way to get their sound out there. They could never quite get it right till drill music, but they got their sound out there now. And all that hip hop, that galvanized 3 generations, X, millennials, and Z, as a race. And obviously hip hop transcended race, but rap specifically galvanized Black American culture. And they need that because really, you ain't got shit else. You need cohesion because you have no economic and you have no physical, so you have no political. the stuff that Professor Black Truth says, like he's spitting facts, but at the same time, the underlying current is there. And this is what I'm alluding to. If no one respects you, if don't nobody respect you, you ain't gonna get nothing because I have no reason to give it to you because you ain't gonna do shit to me. You understand, Jackie Daddies? And so, when black people get out here and they try to go after these cops and end up face down in the river, it's because nobody has to respect that judge. They don't have to listen to her. They don't have to listen to you. They don't have to respect your right to drink, to clean drinking water. They don't have to respect your right as a legally armed citizen. They don't have to because you have no power. And that's why there's not going to be any reparations. There's no power behind it. Why is somebody going to give you money for your vote when I can get money from these women by dangling Roe v. Wade over their head? Then I got black women, white women, Hispanic women, Arab women, Asian women. I got all these women to nullify the black vote. And then I got Hispanics to nullify the black vote. I don't need you. I'll dangle DACA or so whatever over their heads like they do every 4 years. They even did it under Bush's era. During the Bush terms, they dangled the DREAM Act over the Hispanics' heads. Dangled it over their heads, got their vote. So they don't need you. And you aren't cohesive enough to counteract this. So they're just going to turn the dial up. They're just going to keep dialing it up and keep politically isolating you, keep politically nullifying you. And then they put these fake black leaders, these fake puppets, like the mayor of New York City, or Alvin Bragg. And the Aryans are out here crying about Alvin Bragg, talking about, oh, he's releasing the criminals, typical liberal, da-da-da-da. They know what Alvin Bragg's about. They know Alvin Bragg doesn't go after the Aryan race. They know Alvin Bragg isn't putting white people in any danger. He's not a threat. Just like that filthy half-breed Obama wasn't a threat. Obama was the best thing to ever happen to the white race. And they know it. But they have to play this game and pretend like he was some thread that was going to take over and help the blacks get the white man. When he wasn't. He was doing everything in his power to harm black people. And I broke all that down in a bunch of videos for years. Even black people got mad till they fucking looked it up. Then they were like, well, what do you expect us to do? And then there you go. That's the stage where black people get scared because they have to accept the fact that, A, this ain't your country. You don't really have a place here. The whites and their allies feel you've worn out your welcome and they want you to leave. And they're going to make it hard for you so that they can push you out. They'd rather go and spend $50 billion a year than to employ you and fix the problems in your community, which are almost all economic. But everything I'm saying is hate speech. Black people, wake the fuck up. Bitch.